Hiya team, it's Alex here. Here are 5 things that we learned from Manchester City's 2-0 win over Watford. Number 1, we can keep a clean sheet. I know it's hard to believe, but we finally managed it at home. We've had 3 full moons here in Manchester since we kept a clean sheet, and it's finally showed that the hard work has paid off. But the one difference on everyone's lips here is that it was finally 4 at the back, not 3. Maybe it's Guardiola swallowing a little bit of pride. Maybe it's Guardiola accepting that these players that we've got just aren't ready. Maybe he's looking at the way that Zabaleta and Sanya struggled to interact with each other in that 3/4 that we played at Leicester, and maybe it's just sticking to basics. Gael Clichy looks far more comfortable playing in a 4 the way he's played his entire career. It let Kolarov roam forward a little bit, knowing that Otamendi was there to cover him, and all in all, we just looked a lot tighter, and that protected Claudio Bravo, who's looked more than a little bit wobbly in the last few games, meaning that he gets to keep a clean sheet, which will do his confidence no end of good. Number 2, Pablo Zabaleta rolling back the years tonight has taught us that maybe he's still got something in the tank. A lot of us have looked at his performances over this season and thought maybe he's getting to the point where he's past it. Maybe it's time that we move him on, even in January if it's necessary, just because if we love Zabaleta, we don't want to see him lose it. We don't want to see him past his best. But tonight, even putting his goal aside, he was sublime from start to finish, working his way up the right going forward, tracking back defensively, putting those Pablo Zabaleta hard tackles in and leading as a captain figure. Superb from Pablo Zabaleta, and maybe he's not past it just yet. Number 3, it's all about Nolito starting at number 9. A lot of us expected Kelechi to start up top. Maybe it's Guardiola playing mind games, trying to confuse Walter Mazzari by starting Nolito and playing in this sort of traditional English number 9 crossed with a Guardiola style false 9, drifting out onto the wing, pulling players apart, making space for the Sterlings and the David Silvas to run into. For me, it was a quality performance. 1 or 2 people on fan cams might have disagreed, but for me, it's something a little bit different, and it's something that worked tonight and meant that we took our chances. And maybe it puts a question mark over Kelechi Iheanacho, who Guardiola just doesn't seem to want to play. Number 4, you'll know more about this than me by now, but as it happens, it looks like Ilkay Gundogan could be out for several months with a serious injury, and that means we're going to go into the Arsenal game missing some really key players. Ilkay Gundogan, Fernandinho and Sergio Aguero, and possibly more than that. It means that down the middle of the park we could be missing depth, and that is where Arsenal are at their strongest lately. We need players that can combat Mesut Ozil and co. We need people in there who can make it difficult for Arsenal and mean that we can play our own game. And maybe all this squad depth that we thought we had at the start of the season, maybe we might be struggling just a little bit here on in. And number 5, finally something we finally learned from this result is that we've got character in us. We've got enough players in the squad that have got that hard mentality. Players that don't mind getting stuck in. Players that don't mind pushing someone back. Players that can show a little bit of aggression, but show it in the right way. Show it with your feet, show it with your mentality on the pitch, and not show it with a red card. We're seeing players like Nolito, who seems Bellamy-esque. We're seeing players like Otamendi tonight get involved, get stuck into a challenge. Players like Fernando get stuck in, but not get themselves involved in fouls or petty battles. And that means that when it doesn't work out for half an hour, we're not getting frustrated, we're showing it with the right mentality, and that leads to the right results. Okay, so those are my 5 things. Let me know if I've missed out 6, 7 and 8 in the comments below. This is BlueMoonRisingTV. We'll see you again.